The supernatural activity of the soulless ones activates the power within the ones who carry the light. I'm gonna try to keep this video short because I don't want to go for too long, but I will say that when it comes to the soulless ones versus the chosen ones, you have darkness versus light. You have the abyss versus the stars. Some people, when they go through a tremendous amount of pain and suffering, they end up dying. And what happens to a star when it dies? It becomes an abyss that sucks everything around its vicinity. And then you have the supernova, that is a star that it was about to die, but it decided to live a much longer life, and it explodes and becomes much more brighter and powerful than it was before. And that is where the phenomena that they talk about online, known as the supernova, I've heard other people say this as well. So with that being said, the energy behind the soulless one is a very dark one. It has the ability to really mess with your energy in many different ways, and it can manifest into medical, physical issues, and psychological trauma. And of course, just say all that to say that spiritual warfare has a way of bringing that. Like, spiritual warfare is basically, again, the energy of the soulless one versus the light of the chosen one. So when you look back at that battle that you fought in the past, really think about it. What comes to my mind is one in particular, which was a soulless one. One of the biggest ones that I've encountered was when I was in my teens, and living under the same roof of this person, I noticed a lot of supernatural things were happening. Because again, they carry a dark presence, and I know this because we moved to 2 different homes, and it seemed like the darkness was following him. It would manifest into shadows that were seen, and then this energy that was felt, this sudden chill, this cold air that would just hit you. And I wasn't the only one that saw these things. There was other people in the house that also saw the same things. Apparitions, shadows running across the room, almost at the speed of light, to where it even created this shift in the electromagnetic field. It's like the frequency was being shifted drastically for a split second. As the shadow goes past, the lights flicker. Kind of like the same thing that would happen when you're what they call near the presence of aliens too. That's what they say. When you come in close contact to a so-called extraterrestrial, it brings about the same effect as when a demon is coming near your vicinity. And we would see these things. There was a phenomena that would happen a lot in my room back in these days when I was living with this particular soulless one. And that is when all of a sudden I would feel like a wind. It would be like a cold breeze just hitting me, as if I opened the window, but obviously there's no window open, right? So it's like you could just feel like, imagine a window being open and you could just feel the cold breeze just hitting you, just like that. And then as that's happening, my phone would turn off all of a sudden, like without me doing anything. It would just automatically shut down and restart on its own. And then as that's happening, the light would flicker in my room. And then all of a sudden, everything will be back to normal once the cold breeze has left. And it's almost like a portal was open and something was blowing cold air toward me. And this happened during a time where I've experienced a lot of sleep paralysis, nearly every night almost, having nightmares and waking up with that, what they call night terrors, cold sweat, things like that. A lot of weird things happening, hearing sounds that are not really from this realm, hearing a voice trying to wake me up from my sleep, hearing footsteps walking around my bed. All these things was going on during this time. And it sounds crazy. It sounds like it's a made up thing, but this is something that I've kept to myself for a very long time. And I've only shared this with a very few people that I've known. But once I come into the awareness that these are things that other people are experiencing as well, the sleep paralysis is a big one. Because when you talk about this with regular people, they're just going to think you're crazy, or they're going to rule it out as just a sleep disturbance. You have a sleeping disorder or things like that. They might even say, well, you have PTSD, and that makes sense. But there is this spiritual component to it that is never talked about. And that is the fact that when you're in the presence of this soulless one, you're going to have a lot of darkness hovering over you that's going to cause a lot of issues. I remember during this time that this is happening, I used to have a lot of nausea, a lot of headaches, migraines. Sometimes you'll have pain in your body, especially when this soulless one was abruptly left my life because he was arrested. Finally, justice was served, at least for a little bit, until he was released. But nonetheless, I thank God for being there throughout that season back then. This was way back in 2012, so it was a long time ago. But I noticed when this person was gone from my life, this person that SA'd me, this person that came into my life right after my house burned down when I was 10, and convinced everybody that I was living with that he was trustworthy, that he was great, and that he was this and that. And everybody believed him. He was very good at hiding who he is. That's the thing about a lot of predators. They know how to hide. They damn sure do. He was a huge, manipulative, psychopathic type of person, because there's other things. There's skeletons in his closet that I know about. He knows that I know. That's why he hated me, because I saw right through him. I was onto him. I knew he had no soul. So, with that being said, when I look back at that time, when I was living under the same roof, again, spiritual warfare was taking place, because I was slowly waking up, and I feel like energetically that individual knew. He knew that I would one day wake up and become a huge threat. And of course, he was sent by the devil to destroy me. And I know that for certain because of the things that was done to me by this person that tried to get me to off myself, And of course, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but you understand SA and you understand narcissistic abuse combined with that. And the point that I started having the idea of deleting myself since I was 14. So you better believe that I've been fighting against a lot of this dark energy that I was forced to be around for a short period of time. And I was able to overcome a lot of things and master my mind. And also, through spiritual growth, regain my strength. And to God, I give all the glory for these things, because I couldn't do it myself. I tried to. That's why I became agnostic, until I realized that I needed strength from a divine source. And that is when God took the wheel. And I'm very thankful for that. So I have to give credit where credit is due when it comes to that. And so I say that to say that there is there's this push and pull between the soulless and the chosen. And now, once you realize who you are and what side you're on, when it comes to this battle that we're fighting, the unseen war. Now you get to awaken to your power. Because the thing is, the enemy is banking on you not knowing who you are and not understanding your power and value that you carry. That's why they try to hurt you. They try to destroy and diminish you into oblivion, because they're hoping that you stay underneath them, that you take on their karma, that you think that you are what they are. A scumbag, basically. They want you to think that you're a piece of but that's what they are, and that's why they do what they do. That's why they do the mind games. That's the purpose. It's so that you live with the guilt that they are walking around with. So we're not gonna have that. Keep waking up, keep growing, increase in your spiritual energy, and become a lot more powerful than ever as each day goes by, because the devil never stops. He keeps plotting against the chosen. He keeps plotting against the highly intelligent, intuitive, creative, and spiritual. So with that being said, that's all I have to say for now. Protect yourself at all times. This has been Yasira. This is Yasira, the spiritual samurai. And God bless.